So now let's go ahead and start off with that basic conceptualization in mind as we go to the website browser tree, and we're going to start creating multiple things from the website browser tree. So to do that, please click on Site and Browser on the left-hand side of your nav. And you can, at any point in time, no matter where you are in the system, we do have the one-page app type of mentality. So you can click on anything and travel to any other different area that you need to manage while you're in the middle of editing a page, or no matter what you're doing. You can travel anywhere. Okay. Then we should all be seeing this, right? I am going to create one folder first, and then you are going to create subfolders underneath this folder for yourselves. So I'm going to right click, but don't do anything right now. I'm going to create the folder, and then you're going to refresh, and then you're going to create your own little area where you can start putting lots of hands on. So I'm going to add this folder, and I guess let's go ahead and call it, I'll just call it training. And whenever you create your own folders, please make sure you check show on menu so that I can navigate to your pages if you're having any kind of difficulty. And this will automatically include it in our main menu, and I can navigate to you and give you help. Okay. Whenever you create a new folder, it has a title. It automatically, this little name URL, or the URL to hit that folder, is automatically generated for you. You don't need to do a thing. If you kept typing, it would go ahead and generate that other, it would update the URL. And we want to hit the show on menu just in this case. And then it has an allowed file extensions field here as well. Now, if you don't do anything, then it automatically allows anyone else who has permissions to this folder to upload any file type they wish. But let's just say you're creating the folder for the group of publishers that manage the same types of content in your area, and you want to say, look, folks, we all agree in our own little department that we only want JPEGs and PNGs in this folder. Maybe instead of training, this is images, right? Or PDFs go in this folder, and the folder's name is documents, right? You can limit what files can be uploaded by putting, you don't care what the file name is, so that's a wildcard for the file name, .pdf, right? Or you could do star, I don't care what the file name is, .png, or comma, star, whatever the name of the file is, but it must end in .jpg, okay? If I did this, then instead of by default allowing any file to be uploaded, the only files that would be allowed in this training directory to be uploaded would be files that end in PDF, end in PNG, and end in JPEG. Okay, which is by default why it's pretty much usually left blank. Okay, and it tells you how to limit if you do want to limit. Also, whenever you define a folder, you create a new folder yourself, you can define which default file content type is used to, whenever somebody right clicks on your folder and they say want to add something new, it kind of defaults to this as the default option, although they can switch it and say I want to upload a different type of file. But let's just say this was for videos, then I could say whenever they right click and they add a new, it will suggest to them you want to add a new video, right? Or document, right? I just want to leave it as file asset. I just want you to upload, regular files, not specialized for documents or specialized for videos. So I'm going to create your training directory. And then right now, I'd like you all to refresh your browser. And now you should see that training directory. Okay, so right click on the training directory and new folder. And then just give it your first name, last initial. So I'm just going to call my folder Dean G. It automatically gives it a named URL. You do want to click on the show on menu and then just click save. So you right click, new folder, right? So right click, new folder on the training directory, and then first name, last initial. and show on menu, and then click save. So now in your folder, I want you to right click on your folder, new again, and this time instead of adding a folder, we're going to add a new page. Okay. So click on your folder this time, new, and page, which is the second object. So we're just working our way down the list of creating new things using the website browser. We first created a folder. Now we're creating a new page. We're not going to get too much into it. We have a section that's on pages. And whenever you do that, you're going to get this little pop-up here that says add an HTML page. Which type of page? We even have several different types of pages, and you can customize and create your own types of pages. And at first, I myself thought, why do we need different types of pages? But there's actually really good use cases for it. Here we have landing page and page asset. So you could actually create a landing page that has the banner built into it. But we're just going to create just a regular page asset for now. So we did right click on the folder, new, and then page. This pops up, and all we have to do, we don't have to select anything. We just click select. Okay. And then this pop-up should be here. So the title to our page would be our own home pages. I'm gonna show you how to create an index page within your own folder. So I'm just gonna call this Dean G Home. And if you do want to create a home page, you could create 30 different pages in the same directory. So if someone just hits your website / Dean G, then which page is going to respond and say, oh, I'm the default page, in that directory. So you, by default, whenever you click anywhere, it's going to auto-populate the URL for you. So what you want to do is if you want to create an index page, you erase the auto URL and you put index to make it the default page for your for your respective folder. So after you name it whatever you want, make sure the URL says index, all lowercase. Don't change the host or folder field because we right-clicked on the folder where we want to store this page. Although you could change your mind on the fly, I guess. And then here for template, don't select the drop-down. There's a lot of templates there. Just go ahead and click here and then type the number 2. And then it auto sorts. You don't have to press anything. Just type the number 2. And then, as you type, it'll auto sort all of the templates. So just type the number 2, click the bottom one that is Quest 2 column with side navigation. I want the side navigation so that I can navigate to your page if there's any kind of an issue. So Quest 2 column with side nav, the bottom option. Click that, gives you a little preview of what it's going to look like. And then click Save and Publish. We want to pretty much save and publish everything because whenever I travel to the front end of the site, I want to see your content. I don't want it in an unpublished, unlive state. So let's try to click on Save and Publish for everything. And then we should be looking at this. It should look the same for everyone. So now we can click on edit mode and start adding content to our pages. We're going to actually, before we get in, off of the track of our agenda, I know it's tempting, but let's just go ahead and leave it right there. Go back to our site browser. And so that we can click on any of these folders, including the training folder. I'm gonna just add. You guys just sit for 1 second. This will be a quick review. I'm gonna add an index page to the training directory, which I haven't. I only added it in my own directory. So I'm gonna new page asset. I'll call it training home. I'm gonna make this the index page of the training directory, right? And then I'm gonna just type 2 again. Get that. Template, save and publish, and then maybe just so we know, I'm going to add content, add a new generic message, which well, we'll get there. And I'm going to just welcome. And I'll put this down here and put a little exclamation mark. Yay! And save and publish that on my page. I close that and I've got that. Okay. If you notice up in my URL, I could now hit this site on the front end, and I'm going to test and see wherever everybody added their index pages right. So I'm going to pick on you. See if you're paying attention. Okay, and I can now go to the training directory, which the only reason it's appearing here is because I put show on menu, right, on that folder whenever I created it. And then I can go down to Josh C, and yay, Josh, you did it right. Everybody put index. See, this is a test of whether you put index in your thing or not. Matt, boy, 100% so far. Didn't catch nobody. You guys are great. Awesome. Okay, and this gives me the ability to, from the front end, I can navigate to your pages. If you hadn't have done that right, then I would gotten a 404. So now we've got all of our training directory, we've got our folders, we know what show on menu means. You can, by the way, do the same thing on your pages. You can, although we don't want to do it for our index page because we're already in the main dropdown. Our folder is. And our folder, if we click on it, it's going to take us to our index page. So we don't need our home page twice there, right? But for all the other pages we put inside of this directory, we would want to, and I'll just show you where it is. Whenever you're editing a page, it's not right on the properties of the page. So I'll go back to the properties of the page. It's here. If you want to put show on menu on a page, you would click on advanced properties, and then there it is right here. Okay, so there's a separate little tab called advanced properties for all that SEO stuff and metadata and all that good stuff. And then the show on menu would be right here for a page. So this, though, would make our link to our folder and our link to our homepage show up, which, you know, would both lead to the same place. So that doesn't make sense for your home pages, right? So I'm going to just cancel that. Go back to my browser, and we're going to keep covering what you can do from the website browser. Okay. So right-click on your folder here in the site browser, your named folder, and we're going to create a subfolder within that folder. We're going to call it images, and this one we do not want to show on menu. Okay, so right-click on your named folder, new, and folder. So right-click, new, folder, images, and no show on menu for an images directory, right? And then just click save. Right-click from your named folder, new, folder, images, and save. Easy peasy. Okay. And now we should be seeing, you know, our named folder and this little images guy underneath here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is upload a couple of files. So we've already done the right-click, new, folder, page. Now we're going to do image or file. Okay. Macs have a built-in, I connect to server, and I can just go right to the server and start dragging and drop files right through Finder. Now you can install another program. It's right in our documentation. I'll give you a link to it right now on where you can download it from. So I go to resources and documentation, and web dev is the protocol. It's just like FTP, but for HTTP. So upload and edit via WebDAV. It shows you how to do it, how to configure it, how to set it up to your server so you can drag and drop files. And then it's WebDAV on Windows or WebDAV on Mac. And if you're on Windows, there's a recommendation here somewhere for CyberDuck. Here we go, CyberDuck or macOS. CyberDuck is kind of nice because it works on either. It's an open source, so that's why it's got a weird, funky name. But here is cyberdoc.io. So I'll pass you this. You can see you can get it on Windows 10 or get it for Mac, and it works pretty much the same way as Finder. I'm sending you that link right now. And I don't want anybody to try and install it now. Okay, so anyway, so this is, do I have CyberDuck on this server? I could even show you. Let me see if I do. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I'll show you what your PC option would look like if I can remember how to add another one. So in CyberDog, oh, I don't want the new version. Okay. You then you just click on the little plus sign to add a new connection. Now just watch this one, and if you can on your own, your own PCs or whatever, you can go and do it. We would add a server name. WebDAV HTTPS. Wait a minute, my server is not HTTPS. So just HTTP WebDAV port 80. My server name would be just this. And I'll show it, although we are not going to use this methodology, but in a real environment, this is the only thing I would use. And port 8080. Username, we'll do anonymous login. And the path would be /webdev. And this is what your documentation tells you. Live 1. I think that should work. Okay. So then I should be able to just click, unless I'm remembering the anonymous wrong, because the other ones don't have anonymous. I haven't used it in a little while. Cancel. I want to, should be able to just pick one real quick and just show you the concept. And then it's kind of important to be able to do that for your new, whenever you're implementing. So I would log in with that dean@dotcms.com and 1, 2, 3. So if you're dragging and dropping tons of files to move over an existing site, it's kind of important because right now I can go to training, see all of your folders, go to DNG, go to images, and now I can drag and drop things from my, demo directory, and I'll go over here, and then I can just trying to show you the importance of it for whenever you're trying to move over files. So if I wanted to grab this birthday cake and this boat picture and I want to drag and drop it over to the server, I'm dragging and dropping tons of files at one time. I could have 100, here and drag them. It shows me the stuff making it over, and then I just refresh my browser and there's my birthday, made it over. And looks like it didn't like my my other JPEG though. But all right. So anyway, and the more important thing for webmasters is I edit my dynamic files. I'll right click on my WebDAV connection, and I'll edit. Yeah, transfer incomplete. It didn't like my file. I don't know why. So anyway, what I like to do for webmaster is I like to right click and edit a text file, and I can edit it right here with my favorite text editor locally instead of going to the server at all. And then I change, the dynamic pull of whatever, and so it's good for that stuff too. So that's WebDAV anyway. But right now I want you to right click on your images directory, click new, and you can still upload one single file or multiple files. Okay, so you can do multiple files as well. Well, if you select, then it should show select files to upload. The only limitation here is that whenever you select files to upload, you have to wait for it to appear here. And I've got a lot of stuff in my downloads. Wow, I really need to clear that off. So I go to demo, and then the only thing is you can only upload multiple files from one directory at a time. So I'm going to choose these 4, and I'm going to open. And then you have to choose a workflow option. that is configured on the file asset content type. So then that would be either save or save and publish, which I said try to always pick save and publish so that whenever we look at those images, we'll be able to see them live on the site, right? And execute. So you have to pick a workflow though, and then execute so it knows what to do with those files. Is it just saving? Is it saving and publishing? Is it push publishing? Is it what, what is it doing? And now I've got the 2 that I added through WebDAV and the 4 that I added through multiple file upload. All I want you to do is have like maybe 2 images there. So whatever way works for you, adding them individually or adding multiples. And let's just make sure we got 1 photo to that images directory, and let's move on from here, because otherwise we're gonna not be able to complete our training here today. Once you got 1 image in that images directory, refresh and make sure you are seeing it, and then I want you to just double click it. So I'm going to purposely pick one that's like a really huge image that will I want to do something to. Okay, so I'm picking my birthday cake here. I actually made it from scratch. And then once you select your image, you double click on it. So we all should be looking at the preview of whatever image we uploaded, right? Click on edit image here. It takes a minute, especially if your file's big. It does take a while to load. It took several seconds for me, depending upon the size of the file you chose. All right, everybody, stop for 1 second. Just look at my screen. I'm going to show you your options while your image is loading into your image editor. Okay? These are the options for the image editor. So I can resize. So that's the first thing I instantly see. I don't want a 4,000 pixel image on my front end page. So I'll say, okay, I want to be able to put one maybe that's 400. So I can just type in 400, and the resizer here is smart enough to automatically scale it, scale the other side so it's exactly proportional. And then I just click, yes, please resize it for me. And then you can see it adds the filter over to the right-hand side. Now I got a 400 pixel image instead of a 4,000 pixel image, right? And if I wanted to grayscale it, I could add some artistic effect. If I wanted to, I'm just unchecking it to undo the black and white. I could add brightness, hue, or saturation and really mess the picture up. And now it's just some really odd looking thing. But if I do apply a filter that's really just isn't appropriate, I can just click on the little minus sign and remove it. And that doesn't remove my resize because I only undid the brightness, hue, and saturation filter. I can rotate it even to a negative degree. So I could do a minus 45 degrees and click rotate and rotate my image. I'll undo that because that would be weird on a page. I could flip it if it made sense, but that's not really going to do. It's not going to do much for a circular cake. You could also grab this little resizer here and drag it to resize your image instead of using, but I like the perfect pixel width here. I don't want to. Oh, don't do that. Resize. That's redrawing my image. Okay. So let's see. 400. Resize. Okay. I'm going to click save. I'm going to lock for editing my content on the top right hand side and save and publish. Okay. And now if I look on my history, on my history tab, I can see my different versions. So I could bring back the 4,000, with one if I wanted to. But if I edit my image again, then it shows me that 400 pixel width image, right? Oh, is somebody messing around with my same image? Did for a second there. Close, let me close this. Hopefully nobody's editing my cake. edit your own image. But it could be the system just had a little cached something in there because I hadn't saved and published and edited it out. Where's my birthday cake? There we go. All right, so I'll lock it for editing. I'll edit my image. All right, so once you've made your change to your image, then please, and let's just do a quick resize and do it like 300 or 400 or something like that, and click the clip icon. Okay, click clip. That little clipboard in the image editor. And I'll show you what that does whenever we get over to the WYSIWYG. So I'm going to close, save and publish. And then I'm going to close this out. And that's really it for your, well, there's one more thing. There's one more thing in our website browser. Let's just say, and to understand what this is doing, let me look here at the front end again. And let's just say I go to Magic Mike here. Oh, Magic Mike, your index page is off. Let me go fix his. Where's Magic Mike? Your index is there. Page is locked by Mike Cully. Advanced properties and show. No, we don't need show on menu. Save and publish. That's index and site browser. Mike, it should be good. Why is that giving us a? All right, so there is one more thing that if I wanted to, in addition to showing these options, if I wanted to show something else in my local Magic Mike directory or my DNG directory, right now we're not seeing any subnav, any tertiary level, because we don't have anything except the index page, and the index page doesn't show on menu because we already have the folder, right? That folder is kind of our home page. So we're going to add a secondary level underneath here, which we'll see once we actually travel to our home page or to the other page. It'll show the navigation on the left-hand side. So let's just say I wanted to show application, create account, and this create account page. Let's say I wanted to create this guy. And isn't there a better page for this? All right, so if I wanted to add some application create account HTML, I wanted to add that, create an account link inside my own local directory. I could right click on your own directory, new, and choose the very last option, which would be menu link. Okay, so that should bring you here. And I'm just going to call this, Dean's create account link. Oh, you know what? Let's make it much shorter than that. Let's just call it, let's just call it account. Otherwise, it's going to be a big old long thing in our side nav. It's an internal link, although you could say external link and it'll tell you HTTPS, FTP, you want to execute some JavaScript, whatever you want to do, a code link, or just an internal link. We're going to leave it at internal link, and then we're going to browse for the page that we want to link to. So click Browse. That should pop up this window. Click the plus sign to the left of demo.dotcms.com. Plus sign to the left of application. Right. Then click on create account. And then select this create account page. Select that guy, and then it should say now create -account.html here. Select show on menu at the bottom. You got to check that checkbox, otherwise your menu link will not show up. That way you can kind of activate it and deactivate it without deleting it. And then save and publish. And now, if I come to the front end, we'll see what that did. Yeah, the second I went ahead and refreshed my front end page, I got a training DG, and I can see this little account link on the left-hand nav. Yeah. So if I go to travel to my directory, I see a left-hand nav item that if I do click on it, it's going to redirect me to that create account page. So that way you can include in your local area a page that has nothing to do with your local nav, but the navigation macro that we use is smart enough to pick it up because it is a menu link and it does have show on menu and is published. So if I travel now to any of your page, I see account me, Josh, Christina, all great. Mike, good job. Kim, I'm seeing all your links on the left-hand side. Perfect. Okay. So that is how to right-click and create new of all of the different things that we can create from a folder. Oh, now you don't want to be in the same exact session, the browser session, because whenever you're logged in, you're logged in. So if I opened up a new tab right here in the same browser, then if I went to this website, whatever website I'm managing, and I try to hit a page, I'm going to go to the back end again, right? So which I don't want. So what you can do is if you open up an incognito window or a private browsing session in any browser, it opens up what's called a new session. So all your cookies, all your everything that ties you to a back-end login is completely wiped away and ignored in that new browser session. So all that I do in Chrome is click on here, new incognito window, hit my domain again, which is, just my front end of my site, which is everything out to the 8080. And then I just paste that in and I go right to the home page of my site, and then I can browse around on the front end, go to the navigation, hit it, and I'm not going to go to the back end edit mode on my page. So we now have done everything from the site browser that we possibly can, except for adding objects to multiple hosts. But we'll cover that actually whenever we're on our content. If you had more than one site, then this would right now would become selectable, so that you could select from 1,000 different websites. You could start typing here a different website name, but since that's not, and then you could just directly switch between sites. We have some clients who've got 1,500 different websites managed by one dotCMS.